All right, so today is the 7th of May, I want to say April 2026, and Bitcoin seems to be struggling a bit here. But we'll get into the data, news, and charts after I mention that this content is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research before making financial decisions. And with that being said, let's see a few tweets on X, and the most important one is this one. The Nvidia underperforming semis by the widest margin in 2+ years, while Bitcoin sentiment turns euphoric again. So this is interesting, to be honest, because that divergence matters. Like leaders rolling over while crowd confidence rises is usually not a risk-on confirmation. And as you can see, it's literally the first time in over 2 years, like I said. And again, Nvidia is not like a small stock, right? It's very important. It's very important. So could this be um like the break in the ice before we see that final dump? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's to be seen. Now, something else that caught my attention is that Bitcoin historically printed strong relief rallies during broader bear structures. And this May pump right here is making traders question whether this cycle is different or just repeating. Like everyone has this conviction again, which is exactly when markets usually get dangerous, right? So you can see it happened here in 2022, also in 2018, and here in 2014. So it's definitely not the first time that there is a pump, and a pretty substantial pump in May. And this is also interesting. The market right now is basically split into two camps. There's people that say new super cycle versus bear market rally, right? When both sides become emotionally attached to narrative, volatility usually follows. And as you can see, it respected it so far very nicely, like to the day. 152 weeks of bull market, then followed by 52 weeks of bear market, then here 152 weeks of bull market, followed by 54 weeks of bear market, and now we had 150 weeks of bull market, and we had 52 weeks of bear market. So the question is, could this be it? And that's about it. Like 60k was the bottom, or we're gonna have one more and final dump before we can just get on and be bulls again. I'm hoping to be bull again. I just can't, considering everything, and especially the market cycle. Very importantly, if we look on the liquidation heat map, we can clearly see that the upside has been taken non-stop. If you remember, even from yesterday, we have seen that the shorts were wrecked non-stop. It was like 3 times more shorts liquidated in the past week, I think, than longs. And you can see that there is quite a big cluster on the downside at 77, 79, and also at 80. So I don't know. I have a feeling that the market is exhausted and we can finally see the the dump. And also, I found it interesting that CVD futures and CVD spot is finally seeing some exhaustion as well. And also the funding rates are not non-stop negative anymore. So maybe you can finally turn them into green. So that's another mark on the confluence. And now if we get into the charts, I'm going to keep it simple and short as always. What I wanted to show you is that everyone is talking about the RSI getting over the 70 again. And I remember the last time it did this, was it back here? No, it was somewhere around here. It was 73. And also here, it was 75. So yeah, usually when it gets to around 70 or above 70 in bear markets, it crashes. And as you can see, we have a quite a substantial dump. Like now we're happy even at $400 dump, right? Yeah, so could this be different? Good question. Now you can see volume is decreasing as well, substantially, to be honest, considering how It wasn't great. It wasn't great these days either, but it's even worse now. Now, another thing that I wanted to show you guys on the daily, very importantly, is that what's actually funny, sorry, is that we are very close to the 200 EMA, and we can also see that we have rejected from here. So just like the last time, I'm curious if this is it. We have seen this aggressive bump to the upside to turn everyone bullish again and maybe get rid of some of the bears, and now the final dump. And it also aligns nicely with the SMA. So as you can see, we have crossed. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. All right, so let me get rid of this. Apparently I have too many. Yeah. So as you can see, we have just slightly crossed the 200 SMA, but then it closed below it. So we are below the 200 MA and the 200 SMA. We are below even this structure here. We filled the CME gap, well, partially, because at 84 it closes completely. And the question is, can we finally dump from here? If I look at the trend, regression trend, yeah, it didn't even close above the trend here. So we are still within this bear flag or parallel channel, however you want to call it. So the bearish bias is still there, in my opinion, my personal and humble opinion. So yeah, we'll see what happens in the upcoming weeks. Hopefully, we see that final dump and then over and dusted with. And yeah, I'll see you in tomorrow's video.